Welcome back. You're watching the India Today Karvi Mood of the Nation opinion poll. I will now answer that one question that everyone would have in their minds. What would happen if elections are held today? I want to introduce our special guest joining us for part 2 of the newsroom, Ravi Shankar Prasad, Senior Minister in the Modi government. Welcome, sir. Also with us, our Editorial Director from India Today magazine, Raj Chingappa, Ajit Jha, Editor Research, Javed Ansari, my favorite political analyst. Welcome to all our guests. Manisha Priyam is also joining us. So I now look at that one big question. What would happen if elections are held today? And remember, this is the one question that my phone's been buzzing through the morning. People wanting to know what will happen if elections are held today. Let's put out those numbers now. So here it is. India Today Karvi project that if elections are held today, the National Democratic Alliance led by Prime Minister Modi would sweep the elections, bagging 349 out of the 543 Lok Sabha seats, while the United Progressive Alliance led by Rahul Gandhi would pick up only 75 seats. Others would have 119. If I break this up party-wise, then the BJP is projected to bag 298 seats. Remember, 272 is the majority mark. 298 is what India Today projects the BJP will get by itself. The Congress expected to bag 47 and others at 198. Let's go across now to Ravi Shankar Prasad. He's joining us on this broadcast. Mr. Prasad, this is huge. Namo Nation is our hashtag. The India Today opinion poll suggesting that the BJP by itself would bag more than the magic figure of 272. Do you believe the race for 2019 is over even before it begins? Welcome, Minister.
Rahul, may I begin with a lighter note? Your namesake, Mr. Rahul Gandhi, has today alleged that all the institutions are being flooded with BJP supporters. I don't think he will say that Aaj Tak is also flooded with BJP supporters. Come on. On a serious note, this particularly indicates the people's support for the great work done by Modi ji and his government in terms of transparency, in terms of honesty, in terms of decisive leadership, surgical strike or demonetization or GST, and above all, the way pro-poor measures have been undertaken. The manner in which India's stature has grown the world over. I think the people are trusting his leadership and BJP as a party and NDA as a group.
You know, the one caveat I want to build for our viewers is that this data is actually taken from July, from before the JDU joined the BJP alliance. Now, if the JDU was part of the NDA, I want to show you what would the numbers look like then that would have an impact which would go way beyond just Bihar. Karvi projects for India Today that if the NDA had JDU, Janata Dal United, and the Nitish Kumar party as its part, it would pick up more than 400 seats. That would be the combined total for the BJP and the JDU together. Remember, the UPA stays at 75 and you've got others at 119 now. Raj Chingappa, very interesting. If the JDU was to be a part of the BJP, that would have, according to our poll, turned out to be a big force multiplier for Prime Minister Modi.
Well, yes. I mean, of course, this poll was taken before Nitish Kumar switched over sides. But clearly, there is a larger message that comes through. Mr. Ravi Shankar Prasad is right. Modi is supreme. He's certainly, you know, way above others. And I think people are saying, how many seats will the BJP really win with in 2019 if the current trend continues? But as you said in the earlier segment, there are a lot of other issues, and that's why our cover story this time says mostly sunny for Mr. Modi, chance of rain, because if we look at some of the key factors, and these are demographic fundamentals, jobs, for instance, is something that people are deeply concerned about, and he doesn't come off too well. It is marked as one of his biggest failures. And on the other front, farmer suicides, that's a big issue. But to his positive side is that he's perceived to have done very well on corruption. whether it's demonetization, anti-corruption drives that his government has, or for instance his own, in terms of his personal honesty, as well as there's no major scams that have tainted his government.
The one thing that the BJP and the RSS together would be delighted about would be the fact that a majority of the respondents believe that Prime Minister Modi is the best PM India has ever had, and his gap with his number 2, which is Indira Gandhi, is now almost 100%. 33% of the respondents think Prime Minister Modi is number 1. Indira Gandhi, who's been one of our most successful prime ministers, comes in at 17. Atal Bihari Vajpayee, the first BJP prime minister, at 9%. Jawaharlal Nehru, Javed, at 8%. Now here is one of the founders of our country, the man who shaped India for many decades, and he's only at 8%, and Prime Minister Modi almost 5 times or 4 times where Jawaharlal Nehru is. What do you make of this, Javed?
Look, one possible reason could be that a vast majority of Indians were not even born when Indira Gandhi died, leave alone Jawaharlal Nehru. I mean, I don't know, so therefore that is one reason that could explain Mr. Modi's. He's right there in your face, and if elections were held today and if these figures are right, and I have no reason to doubt that they are not, then it's obviously a no contest. But the devil is always in the detail, Rahul, and there are some things, like Raj pointed out, that could go wrong. It's not as hunky-dory as people would have believed, but there is no denying that if things stand as they are, then there is no context, because the number 2 is way behind, and it speaks of Mr. Modi's credit that he's able to get to promise things that he can't deliver, yet people buy into that. It goes to his credit that his credibility levels are so high that even an economically unfavorable decision like demonetization enjoys vast majority support. He's provided a scam-free government, and his credibility levels are much higher than that of any other opposition leader.
Okay.
The opposition
Ravi
is
Shankar Prasad,
leaderless, cohesionless.
What do you make of the fact that Prime Minister Modi is coming in, sir, at almost twice the approval ratings of Indira Gandhi on the question of India's best Prime Minister enough? Is it because he's here, he's omnipresent, and therefore people, because he's here and now, and this is this generation responding, are attributing to him, things which Indira Gandhi may have done more of? Indira Gandhi at her peak would have obviously been supreme. Do you think this question really is, slightly skewed in favor of our incumbent Prime Minister, Mr. Prasad?
Rahul, it is very humbling. We sit with him today. There was a startup conference for 2 days. The PM was sitting, talking to young entrepreneurs, giving him a direction to be a part in the nation building process. I have the privilege to work in the Vajpayee government. He's our godfather, guardian, towering leader. But working with Modi ji, his style of functioning, and the way there is a passion in his heart, and the kind of hard work he brings on the table, working 17, 18 hours every day, and every Sunday is a Monday for him. It's a different experience. The way he travels in the country, around the globe, and his connect with the people. If I can talk to you in digital language, Rahul, PM's mandate to us is remain digitally connected and also remain physically connected. The physical supplements the digital, and the digital complements the physical. That is all percolating with the people of India in various segments. Economy, honesty, transparency, performance, delivery, and people are joining in that transformational exercise. Digital India, Make in India are all transformational programs. And therefore, this great number. And above all, it is the age of technology. Rahul, you know it very well. Now there is social media. India is emerging as a big technology powerhouse. The startup movement picking up. I think it is important for me to convey on your channel, because you are in Noida. In the last 3 years, Rahul, in India, 82 mobile manufacturing factories have come. And in your Noida and Greater Noida, 31 factories have come, which is becoming a big hub of mobile manufacturing in the country. These kind of changes people are witnessing. 8 crore soil health cards have been given to farmers. About 4 lakh crore given in Mudra scheme to nearly 7 crore recipients like Chaiwala, Panwala, Thelewala, small. All these things is reflecting on the ground.
Okay.
I only gave some of the example. Therefore, the people are seeing the inclusive character of Narendra Modi leadership and the government.
Okay. The one thing that I want to go across to Ajit Jha on is this very interesting question that India Today asked about who people believe is best suited to be Prime Minister after Prime Minister Narendra Modi's political innings is over. Who's the next best PM candidate in the BJP? Let's take a look at what the responses were. And remember, Chief Minister Yogi Adityanath has been in office only for 4 months. And in those 4 months itself, he has emerged, according to the respondents in this India Today survey, as the man best suited to succeed Prime Minister Narendra Modi. Coming in at number 2, 3 and 4 are Sushma Swaraj, Arun Jaitley and Rajnath Singh, all at 10% approval points. Now that's very interesting, Ajit Jha, that this man who was MP, not even a minister for most of this government, and has been Chief Minister Uttar Pradesh only for 4 months, is already seen as Prime Minister Modi's successor whenever that succession may happen.
That's right, Rahul. Actually, not only that, in fact, if you look at the best chief ministers, Yogi Adityanath has been chief minister for barely 4 months, but he's already in the number 3 slot after Mamata Banerjee and Nitish Kumar of Bihar. So there has been a very large sort of following of Yogi Adityanath. It's across the country, and the fact that Uttar Pradesh has the highest amount of voters. So in the survey, it seems that the number of voters from Uttar Pradesh is large. So partly it's a result of that, and partly also that it's a new face. It's a person completely from a different kind of background. It's a person who works very hard from, whatever, 4 in the morning to late at night, who, sort of call the shots. And remember, this poll was conducted before what happened in the tragedy of Gorakhpur. So therefore, he was considered at that time, a hero coming from Gorakhpur. Gorakhpur has been a place for encephalitis death in the past. And it seems that Yogi Adityanath, as Member of Parliament, had done enormous amount of work to tackle the problem.
Minister Ravi Shankar Prasad, what do you make of the fact that so soon into his term as Chief Minister, a man with no administrative experience before this is already seen as your best bet to succeed Prime Minister Modi at whatever time in future this may be? He's ahead already of people like Arun Jaitley, Sushma Swaraj, Rajnath Singh, who've got decades of experience in public life. What does this reflect to you?
Well, first of all, it is a matter of assurance from me that our leaders are so popular. We are happy about it. But as far as the PM's chair is concerned, Narendra Modi is our popular leader. And with your survey, the people of the country wants him to lead. And surely he is going to lead for a coming many, many years to make India on the top of the comity of the nations around the world.
Javed, you come from Uttar Pradesh. He's been in office only for 4 months. Has he done enough in this period to suggest that he is a worthy successor for Prime Minister Modi, or is it just reflective also possibly of the changing nature of our country and how Hindutva is playing a more center stage role than ever before, and Yogi Adityanath is seen as this big mascot of Hindutva?
Were Prime Minister Narendra Modi, for one reason or the other, to decide that he wants to abdicate, I don't think any of those listed would figure. I think it would be Amit Shah would succeed him as Prime Minister.
Okay. Raj Chingappa, what do you make of the fact that Yogi Adityanath so quickly coming in at number 2? Remember, Prime Minister Modi is going nowhere. And he, from all foreseeable accounts in this poll, is here for a period to stay. But the question of what next seems to suggest that Yogi Adityanath, 4 months into his term as CM, is already number 2 in popularity. Raj.
Difficult to explain, Rahul, but I think Ajit had a point when he said Uttar Pradesh has one of the largest voting populations, so that could skew the finding. But also, let's not forget that this is a perception ranking, and the Chief Minister, Uttar Pradesh Chief Minister, has been in the news for the last 3 to 4 months because of this unusual succession that happened. Firstly, BJP wins such a large majority. Then out of the blue, you have Mr. Yogi Adityanath made the Chief Minister. He makes large news, the way he conducts himself. So I think you're getting that after effect of it. Okay. But our next poll might show different results.
Okay, let's now come to who is the best opposition choice for Prime Minister? And when this question was asked, who is the best alternative to the Prime Minister from the opposition, Rahul Gandhi, quite naturally, as the leader of the principal opposition, comes in at 21%. Nitish Kumar, who's no longer in the opposition, comes in at 13%. Sonia Gandhi comes in at 12%. Arvind Kejriwal comes in at 7%. Remember, there was a time not so long back when Kejriwal and Nitish Kumar were jointly at the top. They're now slipping. Rahul Gandhi is right at the top. Minister Prasad, what do you make of the fact that Rahul Gandhi is still seen by people as the #1 alternate to Prime Minister Modi? Is this something that the BJP actually likes, that till the time this is a binary between Modi and Rahul Gandhi, it's a battle you believe you can win?
Well, that is what you all have to decide. For me, the almost decline of the Congress party with alarming regularity is a matter of concern. For the democracy of India, there must be a principal opposition also. But the larger concern for me is that even in today's survey of yours, Congress party is notching only 3 seats ahead, that is 47. Congress party is suffering defeat after defeat under Rahul Gandhi. Is there any accountability of Rahul Gandhi or not? What he speaks, what he says, without any homework, baseless, shameful allegations he keep on making, I leave it there. But should a party of Nehruji, Sardar Patel, Maulana Azad, Indira Gandhi and Mahatma Gandhi need to have some kind of monitoring audit of its current leaders or not? That's a matter of some concern for me, for the sake of Indian democracy.
Very much, Minister Ravi Shankar Prasad. Appreciate you joining us on this India Today Mood of the Nation opinion poll. I want quick final words from all our guests. The one thing, Ajit Jha, that seems very clear is that the opposition is not united, the opposition is fragmented and is struggling for inspirational leadership. If they don't quickly get their act in order, they can just kiss goodbye to any hope of doing well in 2019.
Rahul, that's actually absolutely true. And let me make one more point that we kind of did not talk about. And that is, when you said, when you redid the poll, you said that if Nitish Kumar is on the other side. No, the poll is actually when the presidential poll took place, which were the parties on the two sides. And what happened is, instead of a tripolar contest, it became a bipolar contest with the other categories almost at 6%. So in that, what happened is the NDA ended up getting 423 seats. And the UPA also ended up getting more seats of 120. But in a bipolar contest, what is clear is that the NDA wins. The BJP-led NDA wins.
Because, Javed, the one thing to look forward to is this 27th August rally that Lalu Yadav is planning, where the big question is, will Mayawati come on board? If it becomes this one giant opposition umbrella, it actually, in some cases, might work in Prime Minister Modi's favor, because they'll see lots of this hodgepodge opposition versus one united, solid BJP led by Prime Minister Modi.
It depends on how you look at it. Maybe the voters in Uttar Pradesh might like to see it differently. If a Mayawati, Akhilesh Yadav, Rahul Gandhi and Ajit Singh join hands, then the picture and Mr. Adityanath getting 17% might change dramatically.
Okay, Raj Chingappa, what's the one thing Prime Minister Modi, the officers around him and the BJP should be concerned about going into the future? What are the X factors? What could change?
Certainly, if you look at, despite the fact that he reigns supreme, there are deep concerns about jobs, which he needs to address in the next 2 years. There are concerns with farmers that he needs to tackle. Prices is the other factor that they talked about. But, you know, that's a variation. I just make one final point on this. If you look at the figures of the opposition, they need to come up, one, with an alternative narrative. In terms of leadership, Congress, if you actually add all the Gandhi votes that is there, that's close to 39%, which in some ways means that whether you like it or not, you will have to build an opposition alternative around the Gandhis. They're still the most popular opposition leader.
Here is the India Today magazine this week. Mostly sunny, chance of rain, another inspiring cover here from the magazine. And there's one thing that the editor-in-chief, Arun Puri, says in his letter, which is very interesting, because pollsters, when Margaret Thatcher had the kind of popularity that Prime Minister Modi does now, came up with the phrase TINA, which is there is no alternative. Arun Puri here says what can be described, what can be used for Narendra Modi is Timo, there is Modi only. So that's the one big headline from this survey, that as of now, in the eyes of the respondents for the India Today Mood of the Nation opinion poll, Timo it is. There is Modi only. That's one catchphrase you'll be hearing a lot of over the next few days and weeks. Raj Chingappa, Ajit Jha, Javed Ansari for joining us on this India Today Mood of the Nation opinion poll. Thank you so much. I also want to tell our viewers, if you want to read more about what Raj, Ajit and their team have to say, pick up your copy of the magazine now. So thank you very much for tuning in. We'll have a lot more for you when we come back on the other side of a quick break. Stay with us.